We're continuing our coverage tonight of the story we first reported to you as breaking news. One person is still hospitalized after a school bus crashed at the intersection of Highway 17 and 7476 here in the Leland area of Brunswick County. Now, that bus had 26 students and 7 adults from Cumberland County Schools on board at the time, returning from a football scrimmage at South Brunswick High School. 2 students, 2 adults suffered injuries. One of the adults is still in the hospital tonight. WECT's Mackenzie Bruns has the updated report.
It's a chaotic scene at the intersection of US 17 and US 7476 in Leland. One that turned a sunny Wednesday morning into a scary one for the 33 people on board a Cumberland County school bus.
The curve got them, the bus rolled over, and everybody tried to get out of the bus. Most everybody was able to get out prior to our arrival.
Officials say 26 students and 7 adults from Douglas Byrd High School were on that bus, returning from a 7-on-7 football matchup against South Brunswick.
We certainly have priorities, and like I said, our priorities are who is hurt the worst, who needs to be transported first, and who else needs assistance after that. 2
adults and 2 children were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Firefighters say those ranged from cuts, bruises to possible broken bones. One person even told crews they couldn't feel their legs. Cumberland County Schools released a statement thanking first responders. It says in part, "We appreciate the quick response of law enforcement and medical personnel. Our focus at this time is on supporting our students, staff, and families." James Lancaster with the Town of Leland Fire Department says this could have ended much differently.
It certainly could have been a lot worse. Yeah, we're grateful that the injuries were what they were. There were no life-threatening injuries as far as we're aware.
And grateful everyone will be able to go home.
Now, administrators with Cumberland County Schools did provide an update on the conditions of those individuals, saying the one staff member in the hospital tonight is held as a precaution. The other adults and students now released and headed home.